Okay, so today we're going to talk about something, well, something that's honestly a little countercultural. We're diving into this idea of faith-based dating where, get this, wisdom actually trumps that crazy emotional rush. So yeah, let's just get right into it.
We're all kind of programmed to look for the spark, right? That immediate butterflies in your stomach connection. But what if I told you that jolt of excitement isn't really a sign you found the one? What if it's actually something else completely?
Okay, so here's the big, kind of shocking idea from our source material. Those butterflies, they might not be some kind of spiritual thumbs up. A lot of the time, it's just a biological thing, a reaction to something new, something exciting, or maybe even just good old anxiety. It's not necessarily a green light from above.
So think about it like this. An emotional rush is all impulse and speed. It's that gotta-have-it-now feeling. But real spiritual discernment? It's the total opposite. It's about being still, it's about watching, it's about taking your time. The whole point is to bring a potential relationship to God before your heart is completely tangled up in it.
All right, so this means we have to do a huge mental flip. It's about changing the whole goal of dating. You're not dating to solve a problem, like being lonely. No, you're coming from a place of being whole already. Your goal isn't to get a person, it's to evaluate if they're a good fit for the life you already have. Let's talk about a major trap in modern dating, and it's this. Attention is not the same thing as intention. Attention is easy. It's the good morning text, the flurry of DMs, maybe even love bombing. But intention, oh, that's different. That's consistent effort. It's making actual plans. It's follow-through over and over again. One is cheap and the other is absolutely priceless.
And that leads right into our next point, chemistry versus character. Look, chemistry is that initial spark, and let's be real, it's fun. But it's also super unreliable. It can just fizzle out. Character, though, that's something you see over time, through their actions. It's observable, it's steady, and believe me, it's a way better indicator of who someone really is.
Okay, this one is huge. Potential versus patterns. Potential is the fantasy you build in your head, who you think this person could become. But patterns? Patterns are the reality. It's what their actions are telling you every single day. If you really want to see someone for who they are, you have to stop dating their potential and start paying attention to their patterns.
And this is where that age-old wisdom comes in, right? The human heart can be deeply deceptive. It just drives the whole point home. If we know our own feelings can trick us, it makes you realize how risky it is to just rely on that initial emotional high. It's like an invitation to, lean on something a lot more solid.
So if the butterflies are out, what's in? What can we actually trust? Well, that's what this next part is about. We're going to build a practical toolkit for taking care of yourself emotionally and spiritually. Or, to put it in biblical terms, how to actually guard your heart.
Really, it comes down to 3 key things. Super important. Number 1, pace the intimacy, and I mean all of it, emotional, physical, and even spiritual. Number 2, set some clear biblical boundaries. And number 3, just slow down. Seriously, these aren't just nice ideas. They are active, powerful strategies.
I love this way of thinking about boundaries. They're not these big, harsh walls to keep people out. No way. They're more like doors. Doors that you have the key to. You get to decide who comes in, how far they come in, and how fast. It's all about making sure the whole thing is healthy and respectful. The speed of a relationship says so much about where you're at spiritually. When you rush, it's almost always coming from a place of fear, right? Fear of being alone, fear that this is your only chance. It's got this frantic energy of, I have to lock this down. But slowing down, that's an act of pure faith. It's saying, I trust God with this, and it gives you the space you need to actually see if those good patterns are there. Okay, time to get super practical. We've talked a lot about the why, so now let's get into the how. Think of this next section as your personal playbook. It's packed with real, actionable rules and some crystal clear red flags for grown-up, intentional dating.
These rules, they're basically declarations of self-respect. I do not audition for commitment. That means you're done bending over backwards just to prove you're worthy. I do not over-explain my standards, right? The right person won't need a 5-page essay explaining why you want to be treated with respect. And this last one is so key. You stop ignoring red flags just to protect the potential you've imagined.
All right, let's talk red flags. The big ones. Inconsistent communication. When they're super intense one minute and then just disappear. That's a huge one. or when they dodge direct questions. And oh, this one is sneaky but so important. When someone uses all the right spiritual words, but their actions don't match up. There's no real peace, no patience, no kindness to back it up. Bottom line, if being with them consistently makes you feel anxious or confused, that feeling is data. You gotta listen to it.
Okay, let's break this down even more. We need to know the difference between our standards and our preferences. Standards are the absolute non-negotiables. We're talking integrity, respect, being aligned in your faith. These are the foundation of the house. Preferences are more like the paint color, height, hobbies, what they do for a living. The real danger is getting so stuck on your preferences that you start compromising on your actual standards. You end up trading real, lasting peace for a flimsy checklist.
Okay, as we start to land the plane here, I want to focus on the ultimate confirmation signal, the true north for this entire way of thinking. And I'll tell you right now, it is not a feeling of excitement. It's a feeling of peace.
Listen, a lack of peace is not some small thing you should just push through. If you are constantly feeling drained, confused, or anxious about someone, that is a giant, flashing, neon sign. It's a major spiritual and emotional signal, telling you that something is just not right.
Here's the bottom line. God's will is never, ever going to ask you to abandon your own wisdom. It's not going to ask you to sacrifice your peace. Any path that does that is not the right path. True alignment brings confirmation. It doesn't bring chaos.
So I want to leave you with this question to really think about. If access to your heart isn't just given away, but it's earned over time, what does someone actually have to do to earn it? What specific, observable things, like consistency, respect, character, do you absolutely need to see before you let them in deeper? Because remember, the goal isn't just to find anybody. The goal is to be wise with your heart so you can find the right somebody.